Happy Thursday, Grace Covenant. I pray your day is going well or getting off to a good start, whenever you are seeing this devotional. Good morning from Huckleberry and Buck. So I wonder if we could just take a minute or a few seconds and just listen to the sounds of the morning out here. So I don't know how much the video's picking up, but there's crickets and cicadas. There are cows out in the back, out in the distance over in the next farm. They're my dogs cleaning themselves up after they've been down in the pasture, and they're all wet from the dew. There are a few dogs way off in the distance barking. They sound like hound dogs. I don't hear a lot of birds this morning. I hear a few chirping, but it's not as much of a chorus as I hear some mornings out here. I'm not sure what that means. But I think I hear an owl out in the distance too, maybe still working a little bit because it's a foggy morning. I've noticed lately that if I really take time to listen and not just get so lost in my thoughts, and not just listen to all the voices in my head, just noticed how much you can hear. Right, Huckleberry? Yeah. You can hear so many things. So many things that sometimes we don't notice. Things that allow us to think differently, or things that calm our nervous systems, or things that really change the way that we think or feel. The scripture lesson this week that I'm preaching on is from the book of James, and it talks about listening and how we should listen first and then talk. And that's one of the reasons we've been practicing ever since I got here. So it's been over 5 years now. We've used mutual invitation in most of our meetings, in Bible studies, all kinds of places, so that we can practice what it means to both listen and to speak. So speaking our truth is important, but sometimes if we speak without listening, what this passage says is it's not really going to lead to any kind of righteousness or any kind of God-imbued growth in our relationships. And so in mutual invitation, only one person talks at a time. So everybody has to practice listening, because there is no interrupting. So many times, especially white bodies, are socialized to listen, but only with an ear for what they're going to say as their rebuttal. And there's a lot of interrupting in white culture, especially white male culture. That's kind of how people show their dominance, or people control a conversation. And mutual invitation invites us to really, we can't do that. There is no interrupting. We are listening, and it is a real interruption in some of the ways white bodies are conditioned, and the way racism gets internalized around in our bodies for everybody, just that power is dominance, that power is overpowering. So in mutual invitation, one person speaks at a time, and the person who goes first is chosen by a random standard. And the reason we do that, the random standard, is because then the person who wants to go first doesn't necessarily get to go first. It's just random. And I believe nothing's random. It's really spirit imbued who gets to go first. It seems random to us. And one person talks at a time. There's no interrupting. When you're done speaking, you invite the next person to speak by name. We try not to go around the circle. We try to make sure that we are naming people, that we are inviting people. And when you're invited, you can pass. If you don't feel like you need to speak at that time, or that it doesn't feel safe to speak, you don't have to speak. You can pass. But either way, it's your turn to invite the next person, whether you speak or pass. And it's not until everybody's had a chance to speak that the floor is open for more, kind of conversation or give and take. Everybody's had a chance to speak. Everybody's had a chance to listen. Everybody's had a chance to be heard, and everybody's had a chance to speak up, to step up, to take a risk and share what they're feeling. And I have seen mutual invitation used through the years. I've used it for decades. That over time it does start to change the way we are together. We become more habituated to listening without interrupting, to participating, to stepping up and stepping back, and to trusting the Spirit in terms of how collectives are moved when everybody is heard in that circle. And some of you use mutual invitation a lot. Some of you might even be tired of it. Others of you still resist it. And so we're on this, big continuum in terms of our understandings of what listening and talking carry with them, in terms of our spiritual practice, in terms of the nature of our community. So we'll keep practicing, we'll keep using mutual invitation and other things. But I invite you today to maybe do a little bit more listening, just to what's around you, to what's within you, but not just the voices in your head, but your body. How do you listen to your body? How do you actually heed what your body's saying? When something doesn't feel right, do you stop? Do you pause? When there's energy around something, are you curious with your body? When the voices in your head get too loud, what are your practices for quieting? And what voices do you choose to listen to? What voices do you welcome? Sometimes we have to welcome all the voices in our head, but there is a way for us to practice adding a gentle voice to our internal chorus that doesn't beat us up, but really is gentle. That a way for us to be gentle with ourselves in a way that really helps us be gentle with others as well. So here's to listening on this Thursday. Listening to the crickets and the birds. I hear some more birds now starting to pipe up. Listening to the cows and the dogs and the horses eating grass. And listening to that still small voice that invites you to to welcome a day, to welcome this new day, even when we don't know what it holds, even when days get hard and heavy. That still small voice says, listen, listen, it's a new day being born. A new day for you and for me, for us. A new day filled with possibility. So blessings to you today, Grace Covenant. And I hope you can listen to my words. You are loved, and you're not alone. We're in this together. Take good care, and happy Thursday again.